why is it that an adult who can comfortably negotiate, a complex business deal in a second language will suddenly just freeze in absolute terror when a teenager at a cash register asks them, did you find everything okay?
Right, yeah. It's one of the most fascinating paradoxes in language learning. You can totally master the boardroom, but the grocery store just completely brings you to your knees.
It really does. You walk through those automatic sliding doors. You just need, milk, dish soap, and maybe something for a headache. Simple, right?
Oh, yeah, it should be simple.
But suddenly, the signs are all in English. The staff are rushing past you with these massive pallets. The fluorescent lights are humming, and your brain just completely flatlines.
Slowly flatlines, yeah.
You end up spending, 20 minutes wandering the exact same 3 aisles, completely lost, just relying on that panicked, confident smile we all use when we have absolutely no idea what someone just said to us.
Oh, that smile is doing a lot of heavy lifting. But, the phenomenon you're describing is very real. Today's deep dive is looking at this incredible guide to supermarket English, but to truly understand it, we need to move way past simple vocabulary lists.
Right, because knowing the words isn't the actual problem, is it?
Exactly. We have to examine, the sociolinguistics, the pragmatics, and honestly, the cognitive load that makes everyday shopping feel like navigating a high-speed obstacle course.
And that's our mission today. We want to help you, the listener, unpack these hidden cultural rules, the stuff operating beneath the surface of a simple grocery run.
So let's start with the baseline psychology here.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Before we even say a single word, why does the supermarket cause this specific brand of linguistic paralysis? Because logically, if I know the word milk and I know the word please, I should be fine.
You'd think so, right? But the vocabulary is actually the smallest variable in this equation.
Wait, really? The smallest? Yeah, pretty much. The primary culprit here is cognitive load combined with sensory overload. Think about it. A supermarket is a hyper-stimulating environment. You're visually scanning thousands of products, you're dodging carts, processing background noise.
Oh, right, the ambient chaos.
Exactly. So when a staff member walks past, you have perhaps a 2-second window to initiate an interaction. And in that micro moment, your brain has to perform a massive computational task.
Like trying to open way too many apps on your phone at once.
That is a perfect way to put it. You have to retrieve the vocabulary, formulate the syntax, translate it from your native language, and then execute it phonetically, all in 2 seconds.
And doing that is, virtually impossible unless the phrase is just hard-coded into your reflexes.
Precisely. The environment demands real-time processing, but your brain is lagging. And furthermore, we have to consider a major cultural friction point here.
Okay, what kind of friction?
Well, it's about customer service models. In a lot of cultures or in countries with different retail philosophies, the customer initiates the interaction. You go to them. But in an English-speaking supermarket, the staff are often trained to be highly proactive.
Oh yeah, they sneak up on you.
They do. They'll approach you while you're just quietly debating which pasta shape to buy and ask, are you finding everything all right?
Which completely short-circuits your brain because it flips the script. You thought you were the protagonist of this shopping trip, and suddenly, boom, you're playing defense.
Right. It forces you to respond to an unprompted auditory stimulus while your working memory is already maxed out looking for the penne. The default human reaction to that sudden spike in cognitive load is to freeze.
Just totally lock up.
Yeah, or to just say yes to whatever was asked, hoping to terminate the interaction as quickly as possible.
Which is how you end up accidentally signing up for a high-interest store credit card when you literally just wanted to buy a cucumber.
Exactly. It happens all the time.
So, okay, understanding that our brains are essentially redlining in this environment, how do we actually navigate the aisles? Because my instinct, if I need something fast, is to treat the staff member like a human search engine.
A human search engine, okay.
Yeah, I just want to walk up and say, where is the milk? It's an efficient transfer of information, right?
Well, it is highly efficient for transferring raw data. However, applying a purely transactional approach to a human interaction violates a core sociolinguistic concept. It's known as negative politeness theory.
Negative politeness. That sounds, I don't know, kind of gloomy.
It's not about being negative, actually. This was developed by researchers Brown and Levinson, and it's super crucial for understanding Anglo culture. Negative politeness is about the desire not to impose on another person. It's about respecting their autonomy, and their time.
Wait, I wanted to challenge that a bit. Isn't that deeply inefficient? In a lot of cultures, Directness and bluntness are actually signs of respect. You're respecting their time by getting straight to the point instead of, doing this whole dance with pleasantries. Why is Anglo culture so obsessed with the dance?
That is an excellent contrast, actually. In low context, direct cultures, efficiency does equal respect. But in English-speaking cultures, particularly in these retail dynamics, a direct demand like, where is the milk, feels like a face-threatening act.
A face-threatening act, like it's aggressive.
Yeah, kinda. It strips the staff member of their agency and basically treats them as a subordinate machine. So to mitigate that threat, native speakers use linguistic buffers. We add friction to the sentence to soften the impact.
So instead of being a search engine, you're applying, like, social lubrication.
Exactly. You start with a soft opener like, excuse me.
Just, excuse me.
Yeah, and this isn't just a polite noise. Pragmatically, it acts as an auditory warning signal. It gives the listener a split second to mentally transition from whatever they were thinking about to your request.
Oh, that makes so much sense. It's like tapping them on the shoulder verbally.
Right. And then you shift the grammar from a direct inquiry to an indirect one. So where is the milk? Becomes, do you know where the milk is?
Putting the verb at the very end of the sentence. It totally changes the cadence.
It creates a much softer rhythm. And more importantly, you aren't demanding the location of the milk. You are merely inquiring about the staff member's knowledge of the milk's location. It's a subtle shift, but it preserves their autonomy.
That is fascinating. We're essentially playing this psychological game of make-believe, where we pretend they have the option to say no, even though we both know it's literally their job to help me.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And there are specific ways to phrase things, too. Like, you wouldn't say vegetable area, you'd say the produce section.
Oh, right, the produce section. The article "the" is important there, right?
Crucial. A common grammar mistake is forgetting the. It has to be the produce section, the dairy aisle, the deli. And if you want something specific, never say, I want dish soap.
Because that sounds like a demanding order.
Exactly. You say, I'm looking for dish soap.
Now, what if I don't possess the specific noun? Let's say I need stain remover, but that vocabulary word simply isn't in my mental database. The source material suggests a workaround that I think is brilliant, but I really want to understand why it works so well culturally.
You're referring to circumlocution, talking around the word you don't know by describing its function.
Yes, the function hack. I love this.
It's very effective. The phrase you use is, I'm looking for something that's used for. And then you just describe the action like, I'm looking for something that's used for taking wine out of a carpet.
From a language learning perspective, that's just a great survival hack. But does doing that make me sound incompetent to a native speaker, like I'm struggling?
Actually, quite the opposite. Native speakers use circumlocution constantly when they forget a word.
Oh, true. We all forget words.
Right. But pragmatically, it shifts the interaction from a demand into a collaborative puzzle. When you say, I'm looking for something that's used for keeping food fresh, you are inviting the staff member to problem solve with you.
The team effort now.
Yeah. They get to be the expert who says, you need cling film. It elevates their status in the interaction, which builds immediate rapport.
Okay, I love that. You are outsourcing your vocabulary gap while simultaneously flattering the other person. And if they give you directions and you don't get it, the source says to just ask for help again, right?
Yeah, if you're confused, don't just say okay and walk the wrong way. Use something like, sorry, could you say that again? Or could you point me in the right direction?
Yeah, I've definitely done the fake okay
Yeah.
and just walked confidently into the wrong aisle.
We all have.
So let's move this journey forward. We've successfully navigated the aisles. We've found our items using our collaborative problem-solving skills. But now the dynamic fundamentally shifts because we have to approach the checkout.
Yes, the final boss.
Exactly. And this feels like transitioning from a voluntary, slow-paced interaction to a forced high-speed interrogation.
The transition from the aisle to the register really is jarring because you're moving from an open-ended environment into this industrialized, highly scripted conversational assembly line.
An industrialized conversation that perfectly describes the dread I feel. The cashier takes total control of the pacing, and the source material breaks down the exact script they run through.
They do. It's very predictable.
Right. They almost always open with some variation of, did you find everything okay? My question is, why do they ask this? Are we still in the realm of functional problem solving, or is this just like meaningless auditory filler?
It occupies a strange middle ground. It's called phatic communion. That's language used simply to share a social atmosphere rather than to convey actual information.
Just checking the mic, basically.
Exactly. However, in retail, it also has a functional trapdoor. The socially expected answer is just a reflexive, yes, thanks.
Right. Keep it moving.
But if you actually fail to find the pasta sauce, this is the designating moment to say, actually, I couldn't find the pasta sauce. Because they will often halt the transaction and page someone to retrieve it for you.
So it's phatic communion with an emergency ripcord. That makes total sense. But the real linguistic challenge at the checkout isn't the script itself, it's the velocity of the delivery.
Oh, the speed is intense.
The cashier has a line of 10 people behind you. They are not speaking in the clear, enunciated English you hear on a language app.
Not at all. They are speaking in highly compressed, connected speech. Which brings us to a crucial linguistic mechanism called elision.
Elision.
Yeah. Elision is the omission of sounds, syllables, or even entire words in spoken language to make it flow faster and with less effort.
I always think of spoken English like a fast-moving river. Like a textbook will show you these jagged individual rocks, which are the distinct words.
Okay, I like this imagery.
But over time, the speed of the water smooths out all the edges, and the words just kind of bleed into one continuous sound.
That is a perfect analogy. The phonetic edges get sanded down entirely. So instead of clearly articulating, is that everything, the cashier drops the verb entirely and blends the vowels. It becomes this rapid fire, that everything.
That everything, yeah. And if my brain is still looking for the jagged rock of the word is, I'm going to miss the entire sentence.
Exactly. You're searching for a word that was never spoken.
Assuming I do catch it, though, how do I reply? Because if they are asking if my pile of groceries is complete, my literal translation instinct is to say, yes, finished.
Okay, pragmatically, yes, finished fails the social test of the checkout. It sounds incredibly jarring to a native ear.
Why, though? It's grammatically coherent. The task of putting items on the belt is, in fact, finished.
It is, but because of speech act theory, you're missing the point of the question. You're treating it as a request for a factual status update regarding a physical task.
Right.
But they are actually offering a conversational volley to confirm the boundaries of the transaction. When you say yes, finished, it sounds like a machine reporting its operational status.
Beep boop, task complete.
Exactly. It completely strips away the social humanity we discussed earlier. The native level response requires matching their conversational tone with something like, yes, that's all, or yeah, that's it.
That's it. It acknowledges the end of the list, not the end of a mechanical process. I see the difference. And I guess this applies to other rapid-fire questions too, right? Like when they ask about bags.
Oh, definitely. You wouldn't want to say, I want a bag. You'd want to ask softly, like, could I get a bag, please? Or if they ask, do you have a rewards card?
Oh, the loyalty cards. I always feel bad saying no.
The trick there is to soften the rejection. So instead of just no, you say, no, not today, thanks. Adding not today makes it much smoother.
Not today, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we've navigated the small talk, the elision, the speech acts. Now we arrive at the absolute peak of the mountain, the financial exchange.
Here we go.
And I will confess, when the cashier gives me the total, I frequently rely on what I call the random note strategy.
I think we need a definition for the random note strategy.
Well, it's when the cashier mumbles a string of numbers that my brain completely fails to process. Panic sets in, and I just blindly reach into my wallet, pull out the largest physical bill I possess, hand it over, and just pray to the universe that it covers the cost of my dish soap.
That is amazing. And honestly, it is a widely utilized survival tactic.
It works, usually.
And the reason it's necessary is that numbers undergo extreme illusion in commerce. Native speakers ruthlessly drop currency markers. They do not say your total is $14.60.
They really don't.
No, they condense the entire concept into the rhythm of the numbers themselves. They just say $14.60.
They drop the nouns and just give you the raw data points. $14.60.
Exactly. You have to tune your auditory processing to listen for the primary number followed by the secondary number rather than waiting for the words dollars or pounds. And if you do miss it, you can always just ask, sorry, how much was that?
Right. But let's say I decide to abandon the random note strategy and pay with a card. Let's say they ask, tap or insert.
To which you just reply, tap, please. Or if you are using cash and they ask, do you have anything smaller?
I always panic there too.
Just say, sorry, I only have a 50. Keep it simple.
But you've probably noticed there's a social aspect to handing over the payment, right?
Yes. I've noticed there is a very specific physical awkwardness to paying in an English-speaking environment if you don't fill the silence. Like if I just silently tap my card or silently hand over my giant random $50 bill, it feels incredibly aggressive.
It feels aggressive because silence in Western retail environments is often interpreted as dissatisfaction or even hostility.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so to bridge the physical act of the transaction, we use social filler phrases. As you hand over the cash, you employ a phrase like, "Here you go."
Here you go. It carries absolutely zero literal meaning.
None at all. But its pragmatic function is vital. It is the verbal equivalent of a smile. It signals that the physical handover of money is a cooperative exchange, not a hostile surrender of assets. It really is an invisible glue. Now, let's test this cooperative exchange with a nightmare scenario.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm looking at the digital screen, and I clearly see that the headache medicine scanned twice. Or maybe a promotional discount wasn't applied. The cashier has made a factual error. How do I dispute this? Because my instinct is to point at the screen and state the fact, this is wrong.
Oh, stating the objective fact in this specific cultural context is the absolute fastest way to initiate a conflict.
Even if I am empirically correct, like the machine says $5, the shelf tag said $3, it is wrong.
Being empirically correct does not excuse you from the rules of face-saving strategy. If you say, this is wrong, or you charged me twice, you are issuing a direct accusation.
But they did charge me twice.
Sure, but linguistically, you are threatening their professional face. You're implying incompetence or deceit. The moment you put someone on the defensive, the interaction grinds to a halt.
So I have to prioritize their feelings over my financial reality.
You're prioritizing the resolution over the blame. You use tentative, deeply indirect language. You say, sorry, I think there might be a mistake with the medicine.
I think there might be. That is fascinating. By introducing doubt, even when I have zero doubt, I give them a psychological off-ramp.
You are creating a shared mystery. You aren't accusing them. You're inviting them to investigate a strange anomaly on the screen with you.
Let us solve this puzzle together.
Exactly.
Right.
It allows the cashier to say, oh, let me take a look at that. Oh, you're right. It scanned twice. They get to fix it while maintaining your dignity, and you get your money back. It's a masterful piece of conflict resolution disguised as uncertainty.
That reframes everything. We aren't just learning vocabulary, we are learning verbal judo. But what happens if all of these strategies fail? The elision was too fast, the cognitive load was too high, the machine is beeping, and you are just entirely lost. The source material offers a final fail-safe phrase that I think is the most valuable takeaway of all.
It really is the ultimate cognitive offload, a 4-word phrase that works in literally any confusing supermarket scenario. What do I need to do?
What do I need to do? It's so incredibly simple.
It is elegant because of what it achieves pragmatically. Whether the self-checkout is flashing red or the cashier is asking you a complex question about loyalty points that you didn't understand, saying, what do I need to do? Instantly pauses the interaction.
Like hitting the pause button on a video game.
Exactly. It admits confusion without embarrassment, and most importantly, it places the burden of instruction firmly back onto the staff member. You're asking them to give you a single actionable step.
You're effectively rebooting the interaction and asking them to lower the difficulty setting. It's brilliant. You know, when you step back and synthesize everything we've discussed, the negative politeness, the elision, the face-saving it, completely transforms how you view a mundane errand.
It truly does. We tend to view language as just a vehicle for transmitting raw data, right? Like, where's the milk? Or the total is $5.
Yeah, strictly informational.
But when you dissect these highly compressed, high-speed retail interactions, you realize that the actual transmission of data makes up maybe 10% of the words spoken.
The other 90% is purely dedicated to maintaining the social fabric.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's the not today, thanks. I think there might be a mistake.
Which leads to a deeply provocative thought about where we are heading. Supermarkets globally are rapidly replacing these human cashiers with AI-driven self-checkout kiosks and even fully automated stores where you just walk out with your items.
Right, the grab-and-go places.
Yeah. The retail industry is actively engineering away all of this awkwardness, all of this cognitive load, and all of this linguistic friction.
I guess you don't have to worry about negative politeness with an iPad, you know, to save a machine's face.
Exactly. It is undeniably more efficient. But we have to ask ourselves if these awkward, friction-filled micro-interactions are actually the invisible glue that forces us to practice empathy, cooperation, and social harmony on a daily basis.
Oh, wow.
What happens to a society when we optimize the glue entirely out of existence? Are we just eliminating a linguistic burden, or are we eliminating our daily practice of being human together?
That is a brilliant paradigm shift. By avoiding the friction, we might be starving ourselves of the connection. So the next time you walk through those automatic sliding doors, take a moment to appreciate the complex social dance happening in aisle 4. The friction isn't the obstacle. The friction is the society. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into supermarket English. We will catch you next time.